I'm John from Unix Surplus, and today we're going to look at our Intel 2U dual quad-core server. This uses Intel processors, quad-core, with a 1066 MHz front-side bus. This is great for anybody who wants a lot of processing performance and low power. So let's take a look inside our machine. Right here you can see that you're going to have 4 hard drive bays in front in a 2U form factor. It means you can fit 1, 2, 3, 4 3.5-inch SATA hard drives. It's half depth, so it's very low depth at only 18 inches. You can put it center mount in a telecom rack, or like these racks behind us, we can put them front to back so you can fit twice as many servers per rack. So let's unscrew the hard drives here, and you take a look underneath the hard drive tray. You've got 2 quad-core processors, PCIe, very fast 1066 fully buffered memory, and you have an available PCI option slot. So let's take a look at the front of the machine. Here in the front you have your PCIe slot. You can use your reverse PCI X 64-bit or a standard PCIe 32-lane PCIe right angle riser. You get a full height PCI slot here. You have dual Intel Gigabit Ethernet. This uses Intel Gigabit chipsets, very important, Intel and Intel. USB, video, serial console, keyboard and mouse. Here you have the LCD display, which will power up and show the MAC address for your remote Ethernet management. This is your remote Ethernet management card right here. Right here you have 8 memory slots, fully buffered DIMMs running at 1066 MHz. So let's talk about CPUs. This has a lot of processing power with Intel quad-core 64-bit with full VT virtualization support for VMware, Xen, or any virtualization you want. It supports either the E series, which go between 60 and 80 watts per CPU, or the super low power L series, which go at only 40 watts per CPU, or the fast X series. Right now it's shipping with 2.33 gigahertz. So some other features in the machine: you have 2U fans. These spin up at 1/4 the speed of 1U fans, which make 1/4 the noise if you're looking to run a home server. You have your 4 SATA ports right here, which come in your SATA lane, hotspot backplane. And a nice thing Intel does for you right here, you can put your USB stick to boot off of USB. You have full fan control and full VRMs for your CPUs. So this is the Intel S5000PSL system board. It's the de facto standard right now for servers. Everybody runs this Intel machine. Intel is the way to go. It also comes in a 1U package server we have here. You can see it and order it on our website. Same 8 memory sockets, but this server here uses 2 2.5-inch SAS 10K RPM hard drives that you can fit in here. So a little bit more performance out of the hard drives in a smaller form factor. So let's take a look at the BIOS on our machine. We booted it up right now by hitting the power button on front of our 1U. See here, it comes up as an AMI Rackable Systems BIOS. This is for the Rackable Systems, allows you to do the remote boot. Right now you're in the Intel Boot Agent, which gives you Pixie Boot off of your Gigabit Ethernet controllers. Trying to establish Ethernet link right now. Not going to happen, no Ethernet ports plugged in. Other boot options you have are USB, your serial ATA hard drives. One quirky thing about this motherboard is that we recommend that you actually disable USB 2.0 if you're using a removable CD-ROM drive, USB. That's one trick that we found. Solves all the problems. A lot of OSs have a problem installing with USB 2.0. Other things that you can have to boot here too, besides Pixie, is you have internal software RAID. Linux right now prefers to use the software RAID instead of any hardware RAID because they think that the kernel controls it better and you have better control. It's much more popular. So this server doesn't have the hardware RAID option that goes on board. There's actually a daughter card you can put on this server board to put that, but very uncommon because most people want to run Linux or some form of virtualization. Alright, so let's take a look at the BIOS here. Currently this machine is running an E5345 2.33 gigahertz quad-core CPU. That is the lowest power you're going to get at 40 watts per CPU and only one CPU, so it's very low power running our 1U system here. You can see you can scroll down if you want to for a lot more system information here. Post, there's quiet boot, which is a nice feature that they have as well, which allows you to not spin your fans up at full speed when you boot. You take a look over here at advanced setup. You can see the processor configuration, how that's set up. A lot of different functionality here on the BIOS as far as boot. We're showing that we're running at 1.33 gigahertz, which is much faster memory in the bus than the AMD CPUs run at. You have Intel R virtualization support as well for that. You have full login, password management through your security. You also have processor boot management as far as which speed fans and fan management and full server management as well. The reason this is going so slow is that you have console redirect going on as well. So all this thing that we're typing through the console here is also being drawn at a 9600 baud console port for remote access. So if you want to use Telnet to a terminal server or anything else, you can do all that as well. So that's a tour of our Intel S5000PSL systems. You can order any of these at UnixSurplus.com or call us at any time at 877-UNIX123.